Well, Stats Canada says that Canada's annual inflation rate has slowed to a 3-year low last month. And for more on the latest numbers, let's bring in CTV's Tony Grace. Good morning, Tony. So let's talk about the numbers. They are down slightly from March. Break it all down for us.
Yeah, good to see you, Jamie. Thanks so much. Look, this was the news that anyone who's waiting for interest rates to finally come down was waiting for, because it's another signal that the Bank of Canada could be pretty close to cutting interest rates. But yes, let's get right to that number. 2.7% was the inflation rate for the month of April, and that's down from 2.9% in March. Food is actually something that helped to bring it down. Food prices last month were up 1.4% year over year. That is not as much as they were up compared to a year ago in March. So the rate at which food prices is going up appears to be slowing. Something that did keep the inflation rate perhaps a little higher than it may have been, though, gas prices. 6.1% higher than they were a year earlier. We actually paid almost 8% more for gas in April than we did in March. So that trend line still keeping the overall inflation rate in sort of the northern part of the 2% range. Now, of course, Jamie, as we know, the Bank of Canada, the target for inflation is 2%. The overall comfort zone is said to be between 2 and 3%. But now we're seeing it start to come down within that 2 to 3% range. So again, that is giving a lot of economists a little more confidence that we could be closer to an interest rate cut.
And we're going to be finding out about that rate cut coming up in, I believe, the first week of June. So it's not too far away.
That's right. And there's another meeting in July that some are signaling, well, that may actually be the time, because we're getting all sorts of signals now that the U.S. Fed may not drop its interest rate until perhaps September. So the questions now are, is Canada going to want to move, 2 months earlier, 3 months earlier than the U.S. Fed? Will they want to wait another month? But at any rate, Jamie, the signals are good. And I just want to give our audience here in Toronto a note as well, because they actually break it down by city as well when you talk about inflation numbers. Toronto, still among the cities where inflation is a little higher than 3% when you look at it just on the city aspect of it, which is probably not surprising when you consider that housing is a big factor in inflation as well, Jamie.
CTV's Tony Grace. We appreciate that report. Thank you.
You bet. Take care.